You know what? It had to happen. Yes, it had to happen. And that is that Pavy Mccan, one of Bordeaux's great wines in the right bank, got 100 points. It was inevitable, basically, because when you have a winemaking team like Nicolas Thiepont, his son Cyril, and Stéphane de Rondecourt, who make 100-point wines because they have, Beaujolais Dufault, they do Larcis Ducasse, and de Rondecourt, of course, he consults for hundreds of wineries around the world. But yeah, it had, you put that team together with the great Terroir of Pavy Mccan, and inevitably 100 points will come your way. And we're talking about the 2020 Pavy Mccan. Now, the cool thing about this is Pavy Mccan is on the Côte de Pavie, of course. Pavie, haha. And it's right next to Chateau Pavie, who, in their own right, get a lot of 100 points as well. But, the cool thing about this is that they're a little bit on the backside, so it still gets the heat, but being on the limestone coat and being on the backside, it's a little cooler. It doesn't get a ton of sun. Well, wait, no, let me go step back. It doesn't get as much sun as it does on the other side of the hill, but it still gets a lot of sun. And the clay there is very shallow. So you have this limestone sponge, and in 2020 it was a drought year. So 2020 was a very dry, warm year. So when you are on the coat with the limestone sponge, and we've gone inside the caves, and you touch the walls and they're wet, and you can see the vines how they're trying to find their way, find their water and stuff like that. But what's also cool about Pavy Mccan is it was named after Alfred Mccan, and Alfred Mccan was very instrumental in French viticulture because he was the guy who basically saved French wine from phylloxera because he grafted the vines on American rootstock that was basically would protect itself from phylloxera. And with that being said, he was like very famous, in Bordeaux and in many parts of France during that certain era. But okay, so we're kind of talking a little history here, but the one thing about Pavy Mccan is that there's something that's there in the mid palate that I can't really grasp, that no other wine really has, and that's kind of strange because when you look at the neighbors, when you have Le Prieuré and Le Clot and Auxonne and Pavie, Troplong is not too far away. This wine has its own mojo, and every time we go there, I get it. I understand the terroir. I understand, what that team is trying to do. But in 2020, let's just say they knocked it out of the park and hit a home run. This being 80% Merlot and 20% Cabernet Franc, which is a very typical blend for the right bank. They do have Cabernet Sauvignon planted on the vineyard. For 2020, they didn't use it. I don't know why. I didn't ask Nikolai, but I will next time I see him. And usually he'll say, because it did not go. We used it for the second wine, which is also a very good wine. And we've sold many of the second wines from Pavy Mccan. Anyways, that being said, we have 100-point wines, a 100-point wine from Antonio Galloni. His review is glowing. And, he says a lot of just sparkling words about this wine. And so we sold out, okay? We sold out. This bottle is mine that I have and bought, and I'm opening it for you and then the crew afterwards because I wanted to taste it after the 100 points. And we happened to get an offer that I couldn't pass. I couldn't pass on. Literally, we Yeah, it's just like it was one of those offers like it's too good to be true. I reacted immediately, and we confirmed it. So this is a pre-arrival. I just want you to know this wine will probably be arriving sometime in spring, but it's 100 points, and it's one of the least expensive 100-point wines out of all the Bordeaux that we've done in the past. I can't really remember a 100-point wine selling for under $110 from Bordeaux. I can't. I mean, no, I'm sure maybe like back in 1990s or something like that, or maybe in the early 2000s, but not in the last 10 years. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but please do if you do know. Anyways, 80%, 20% Franc, 80% Merlot, 100% French oak, 50% new. Yes. Yes. Oh, man. You know, I was a little melancholy in my early talking and stuff like that. We got a lot of things going on. It's Christmas, it's busy and stuff like that. But boy, this wine just woke me up. Holy cow. The energy. I mean, I just opened this. This is 2020. I just opened this wine. I mean, probably 6 hours from now, this thing is just going to be singing. Man, the mid palate just explodes. Just this blue fruit and silky refined tannins. Oh man, 20s have a tendency to kind of be shutting down a little bit. It's a firm vintage. It's a big vintage, and I think 20s are going to be collector's items one day because we lived through the worst plague in 100 years during that time, and I think people are going to look back in 20 or 30 years and go, "Oh, that was the 2020, the year of the COVID plague." Blah, blah, blah. I mean, the world was really a drag back then. And now it's kind of back to normal. I'm going to have more of this wine because it's really good. So anyway, pre-arrival, 100 points. We're at 106.98. And I can't say enough about this wine. It's great now. It really is. It's super tasty. So again, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Join our email list. Again, I mentioned it last week. You will get this information before anyone else. And, we only have 300 bottles of this. So on pre-arrival, again, probably do spring. You don't want to miss this wine. It is absolutely spectacular. And I don't know if they're lay down 6-packs or stackable 6-packs. I'm not sure exactly, but, they're in 6-packs. So, spectacular wine, 100 points. Happy holidays, by the way. I think this is the last one I'll do before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, because I know Hanukkah is on the 26th. And just enjoy the season, enjoy family, love life, and cheers.